Shotgun pump action. And we cause a commotion. Mr. Selector, put that rewind in motion. Shotgun pump action. And we cause a commotion. Mr. Selector, put that rewind in motion. Shotgun pump action. Let them know what's up. Mr. Selector, better wheel it up. Shotgun pump action.
For me, exercise is priority. That's like level number one. That's ground zero. Once I've got that under my belt, then I know that I'm performing to a high level. I know I'm firing from all cylinders, if you like. From there on in, a lot of the business now I developed over to a place where I can just make decisions. I can be like, look, I want the next collection to feel like this. I like this material. The way that I developed the Batcave is so, these are all different, there's like a rack with clothing, all different materials on there. So I might just throw a t-shirt out and say, look, I want this material. I want this panel under the arms. I like this colour of that jacket. So I'm just kind of sat back now, just making decisions in them respects, because the businesses are flowing now. In terms of music, you know, I've been 4 or 5 years in the limelight at the top of my game. So now I'm in a position where it's like, okay, as opposed to just keeping the momentum and the flow going, let me create something that goes down in history. That's the reason that you see Vincent van Gogh pictures and Julius Caesar statues and stuff, is because I'm obsessed with history. I'm fascinated by the fact that somebody can have died hundreds of years ago but still be mentioned in this day and age because of their artwork or because of their achievements.
It's only January, huh? We're out here in the fucking pitch black. Watch me this year. Watch me this year. Trust me.
Even as a young kid, if you're 18, you're thinking to yourself, you know, what are your priorities? What do you want? You want a Lamborghini, you want the sickest car in the world, you want to be able to show people you're the man, do you know what I mean? And then you kind of get to this stage now and it's like a slight shift in priorities. So I'm aiming bigger, but I'm also aiming for the correct things now. I'm aiming for the mature things. So I'm more empire based at this point, do you know what I mean? I've built a brand in Bugzy Malone that is just doing phenomenal numbers, you know what I mean? And I'm at a stage where I understand that I've developed a solid business there, nearly as strong as my music business.
See what, yeah? We train to keep my mind disciplined. I mean, it's too easy to lie in bed. I mean, life's easy to live a negative life and fucking lie in bed and make excuses about everything. It's harder to get up out of bed and fucking go and make something happen. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're saying we covered already?
It takes people a lifetime sometimes to find their actual skill, to find their actual calling, what it is they're built to do. Once you found that, then everything's simple. Everything just needs to feed into that journey and the progress of that situation. And I just think from there on, you're just mastering a craft. They say that it takes 10 years to master a craft. I'm at year 10 now in music. And that's why I was able to go into a film, a Guy Ritchie film, when he asked me to do a soundtrack. That's all I'm seeing in my messages is when you're releasing the soundtrack, because I was able to just bang it out as natural as breathing. It's just like press record. I start talking, half an hour, it's done. But that's because I'm 10 years into this process of working on what I'm good at. So yeah, there's a couple of steps to going into the right direction, you know.
This is the bit what people don't see. People see me flying about in big cars. You see big chains and all that. They don't see this bit. Do you know what I mean? They don't see the fucking real work. I sat there with pure dough in the bank, just fucking being lazy and just fucking trying to be the man. Do you know what I mean? And life starts to feel more good. You know what I mean? I sat there with my Lamborghini out there on the ramp and just I felt sad because life's for living. It's almost like you make some money and you think life's gonna come to you. You think it'll be all good now. You have to work for it. You have to go through that horrible jog to get that feeling of like, you get me, that fresh feeling, that feeling of feeling fit. You can't beat that feeling. You don't get that feeling when you start about messing about. You don't get that feeling when you're waking up hungover. All you can do is be the better version of you each time around, and then the money will just come, opportunities will just come, life will just get better. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is my way of upping. If I up myself in fitness, if I push myself to a new level in boxing, then what do you think's gonna happen with my career? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I just feel like in life the only thing that limits us is currency. The fact that everything costs money. Now think about the house you'd be living in if things didn't cost money. You could just walk into a shop and pick up whatever you wanted. What would you do to the place? Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think that's what success kind of brings to the table, that kind of like option of like, how do I want to live? What do I want to be absorbing in the morning when I wake up? I remember when I lived in a flat, every day before I went out of my house, there was this massive damp patch down the wall. And I'm phoning the landlord. I'm powerless, right? Because I've not got loads of money at that stage. So I'm phoning the landlord. I'm like, look, there's a big damp patch. It's getting a little bit moldy. It's in the hallway as I'm going out of the house. And I have to absorb that information every day before I leave my house. It's negative. Whereas now I wake up and I come downstairs and there's a grand piano or a sculpture or a painting or, you know, a toy what I wanted as a kid I could never afford, and it's just all positive information what I'm absorbing. So I just try and live in the most like positive atmosphere, the most creative atmosphere that I can possibly create. Do you know what I mean? And I just wanted my house to just feel like, if I wanted to just shut off from the world and just base up here for however long I have to, then that's what I can do, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna make my album from here this time. That's how I live. I live feeling like that. I've just woke up and ran at 6 in the morning, 20 past 6 in the morning. To some people that's hell, it's chaos. But like I was saying to you, I hold a positive attitude towards these things. I make the boring things, how monotonous is it? Just running, step after step after step after step after step. How long was I going for? There was a good couple of miles in there, do you know what I mean? But for me, I was looking at all the positives. I was thinking, look how fresh the air is. Flipping it, to be at this age and stage and be so fit as a fiddle. Do you know what I mean? I'm young, I'm in my prime, I'm fresh, I'm ready to go, I'm mentally sharp. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you can make fun out of the boring stuff, by the time you get offered a challenge like a film, it's like a film. I'm gonna be on a film set. I'm gonna be around Matthew McConaughey. I'm gonna be working with Guy Ritchie. I'm gonna end up in the cinema. That's fun compared to the boring runs that you've been doing. So imagine if you performing focused on a run, or focused like when we go sparring later. Imagine how focused you're gonna be when it's a bit more fun. It's easy. So that's what I do. I do the hard work in my spare time. So my career is the easy work.
Bring it in, yeah. 6'5", so close. Time, boys. This was all 30. Shut up. Okay. You want that back? Run now.
Just stop. You know what I mean? We stop that brass. Better get on that bike, nigga. Won't be there the whole day. Good shit.
Yeah, I don't feel that, man.
I'm just at this point now, coming from such a dysfunctional background, developing functional traits and letting go of my dysfunctional traits. So they're the simple things, and that's what allows me to have a good relationship. And that's why I think people will see me as a role model, and it's something that I take serious. It's not that I'm trying to be a role model, but the game what I'm in deserves proper leaders. So I'm practicing what I preach, and these things take time. It takes a lot of repetition and a lot of conditioning. By the time this is done and I've finished my work of art like a Vincent van Gogh did, people will be able to come back to my story in years to come and be inspired by the way that I lived my life and the way I lived by the morals and principles that I talk about, you know.